Hi, my name's Pascal Maslin and this is the view from my office on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Just to introduce myself, I'm the founder of Energy Efficiency Experts, and we performed an energy evaluation of the Quaker Schoolhouse on Thursday. And what we did was we, number one, performed a blower door test, and that's where you mount fans in one of the doors, evacuate air out of the building, and then you can tell where it's leaking. And so I'm going to be showing a movie of some of the things that are leaking and making recommendations how to seal those leaks. And then I'm going to be talking about some of the other things that I noticed while doing this test, some of the electrical things such as lighting and a refrigerator that's malfunctioning. Then I also took a look at the insulation. I did an IR scan, so you'll be seeing some of the photographs from that scan. And then I also took a look at your utility bills, which I'm also going to be showing. So anyway, with no further ado, let's keep going. So this is 2121 Decatur Place. So we're in the kitchen area, and this is a storage room. As you can see, it's fairly well sealed all the way around. This here is leaking up to the attic, and there'll be an infrared photo taken of this. And otherwise, this room looks pretty good. The penetrations through the wall look fine. It could use a reflector behind the radiator, but otherwise the room looks good. Going into the bathroom, the window leaks. It's a single-paned window, leaks both at the bottom, the sides, at this joint. The latch is not working on this window, and the pulley holes up here, these pulley holes are leaking, and the window's being painted open. You probably can't see that. But that seems to be pretty typical of all the windows. Otherwise, a reflector behind the radiator would help, but the room looks pretty good. Going on to the next room, into the kitchen. Kitchen looks good. Refrigerator's running way too much, and you can feel this seam, how cold it is. You're cooling the room with this refrigerator. Window has been sealed with plexiglass. The plexiglass is leaking, but anyway, it seems to be doing a job. The floorboards, there's missing quarter round, but the floor is not leaking at that seam. Under the sink looks good. There is penetrations, but they're not leaking. Coming out into the hallway, the attic hatch up here, this is leaking, and so is the gap between the attic hatch trim and the wall. And that's that gap there. This looks like it used to be an old elevator room, and it has open access up to the attic. And as you can see up there, maybe you can't, and it is leaking pretty badly. It's probably, if not the worst, the second worst leak in the building. So moving into the meeting room, this room's pretty tight. The baseboards are sealed well. The radiators, they're not leaking. Coming around, the windows are leaking. These, actually, I think the best way to seal these would be with spring bronze. There's a company in Pennsylvania that sells high-quality stuff called Killian Hardware, and that would work really well on these windows and on these French windows, which, of course, are also leaking. Coming around the fireplace, the damper is leaking a little bit. It's not bad as a metal on metal seal. The damper frame is well sealed. It's probably a little bit of leaking right here in the corner, but nothing significant. So in all due respect, this looks like it's doing well. The cupboards are not leaking. All in all, this room looks pretty good. Moving out into the hallway, these windows or doors, they are all leaking, and once again the Killian bronze would work really well. Coming around, this thermostat should be replaced with a programmable thermostat. This room looks quite good. This might be a moisture problem up here, and I'll check it with the infrared camera. Coming around, radiator looks good. Installing a piece of metal, sheet metal, or a reflective substance behind the radiator will help it to reflect the heat back into the room. The air conditioning unit, of course, leaks. Removing these in the winter time, really makes a difference, not only with the heating bills, but with people's comfort. Coming around, this room is now under reconstruction. It actually looks pretty well sealed. And into the office, these windows leak, and coming around, this fireplace leaks. And the damper actually just is not seated well on this fireplace. And there's gaps. I don't know if you can see that, but see the whistling sound, and see the cobweb wibbling. So this fireplace is leaking and could use either a chimney damper or a damper at the top. So coming down the stairs, this window, like the other windows, leaks. Front door, you can actually see the gap here where the weather stripping is not quite reaching the door. So getting this door sealed, and also the bottom leaks, getting a threshold or a door sweep at the bottom of the door. Coming into the office, this unit, well, you can see it leaks, and it actually is really a big impact on the comfort of the people inside the room. You can see it's leaking both at the air conditioning unit and also at this seam. You see the leaf moving. This window also leaks, and there's a storm window here, but it's not closed. Otherwise, this room is in pretty good shape. Going through the door, down the passageway into the dungeon. You can see there's the boiler. Above the boiler, this is a vent. This vent is actually needed for the HVAC system. See, above the vent there's also holes. What this boiler needs is really controlled ventilation, not uncontrolled ventilation, which is what it's getting right now. So determining how much air does it actually need, getting a pipe in here with a fan that delivers that air when it's running, does not deliver air when it's not running, and then closing down all these things that just deliver air uncontrollably. Just going along that seam along the top, I don't know that you can see, but there's cobwebs up here. This should be sealed. Coming down, there's a hole here that leaks, and behind these doors there's also penetrations in the wall that are leaking. And I'll see with the infrared camera, but this might have been caused by moisture.
That takes a 2-foot left turn and vents outside.